This is the World Financial Report on Radio with Harold Siegel. My name is Randy Marshall. Joining us via the telephone, our financial endowment expert, Harold Siegel. We're taping the show on June the 6th, 2014. Our time is 8:42 Mountain. Our radio show runs on your favorite radio stations. The shows are archived. You can stream them live at your convenience at HESradio.com, rarecoloreddiamonds.com. Should add, we have a podcast. We are portable. We go anywhere you do via iTunes and their podcasts. Type in World Financial Report on Radio. Subscribe to our podcast. It comes in every week. You can listen to it on your portable device at your leisure. We're portable. We go anywhere you do. And do not forget, Harold does daily market commentary on his websites. You can find it on the podcast site as well. Worldwide Precious Metals, they were in Vancouver. Obviously, that's where they're based out of. They came to Edmonton to meet with different listeners and clients to talk about hard assets, gold, silver, platinum, palladium. And they would like to thank those that took the time out of their busy schedule to meet with them. I know that they plan on having a seminar sometime in the fall. So keep that in mind. Worldwide Precious Metals coming back more than likely in the fall to put on a seminar in Edmonton. And anytime you get a chance to go out to sit down and speak with them, they're experts in this very specialized market, gold, silver, platinum, palladium. Definitely do and take part in their seminars. You can connect with Worldwide Precious Metals. They're the only company Harold recommends you use when it comes to investing in hard assets. WWPMC.com is their website. Telephone number 1-866-623-2002. As we start the show today, U.S. jobs numbers out pretty much as expected. 217,000 jobs gained. The unemployment number stayed at 6.3%. 92 million people not in the labor force in the United States. Also, 1 in 6 American men between the ages of 25-54 are not working. Teen unemployment in some major U.S. cities is topping 50%. Also, a third of Americans 18 to 34 are living at home with their parents, if you can believe it. Other news this week, Mario Draghi, the head of the ECB. What did they do in Europe? They took the deposit rate down to negative. They reduced the deposit rate to minus 0.10 from zero, making the institutions of the world's first major central bank to use a negative rate. Policymakers also lowered the benchmark rate to 0.15% from 0.25%. They are trying to fight deflation in the Eurozone. But just imagine a negative rate. Carney, used to be the head of the Bank of Canada, head of the Bank of England, they kept their interest rate at 0.5%. Here in Canada, we kept our interest rate at 1%. Also this week, the American dream is out of reach. So say 60% of people who are responding to a CNN Money poll. They said the American dream is not reachable for those who are young today. Also, owning a home, no longer the American dream. They say approximately, once again, 60% that they're less likely to build wealth by buying a home today than they were 20 to 30 years ago. And also, half of Americans can't afford their home. As the housing market slowly recovers, a majority of homeowners and renters are finding it hard to meet rising rents and mortgage payments. Over 50% have had to take at least a major sacrifice of some sort in their life in order to cover their rent or mortgage over the last 3 years. And we talk about Harold and inflation. You know, you're in a situation where last week we talked about Disneyland raising their prices 10%, Smucker's boosting most coffee products by 9%. And yet we're told that there is no inflation, right, Harold? No inflation out there.
Evidently, Randy. Other than that, or we must be the stupidest people on earth, I'm telling you. You know, I'm listening to everything that you're saying and trying to digest it, and the unemployment rate comes down to 6.3%, but there's nobody working. Most kids coming out of college don't have a job. As you mentioned, men between 24 and 54, they're not working. 1 out of 6 are not don't have a job. But everything is great, and the Dow is hitting record prices again today based on that phenomenal news. So, again, it's almost reaching a point of being laughable if it wasn't so disturbing to know that this is actually going on. I mean, no matter how bad the economy gets, where people have given up on the American dream, given up on owning their own home, owning their own business, doing well, one day being able to retire, all those situations are not going to happen, but the Dow keeps hitting new highs almost every day. It makes absolutely no sense, except it just reaches a point of ridiculousness when you sit back and say, how stupid do they think that we are to really buy this and to think that the economy is actually getting better when all of this news is coming out on a daily basis and all of it points towards a negative economy. And again, a stock market for a country like the United States or Canada or Europe or wherever is supposed to reflect the economy, how well things are doing or how poorly things are doing within that country. And at this particular point, the Dow keeps going up and up and up. It's hit 16,900 today, even in spite of all this news that's coming out every day. So, again, it gets a little bit ridiculous after a period of time, but we sit here and we know that eventually these markets are going to do what they're supposed to do. Because even though they say there is no inflation, there is inflation. There has to be inflation. Oil prices are over $100 a barrel, and food prices went up 25% in the first quarter of the year. I just don't understand how in the world that is not inflation. If you make $50,000 a year, and after paying your income tax, paying for your mortgage, paying for your cars and your food and insurance and everything that you do, and you're left over with X amount of dollars, if all of a sudden your food is costing you 10% or 25% more, your gas is costing you more, everything is costing you more, that's inflation. Inflation in its most simplistic terms is exactly what we're saying. The fact is that your dollar doesn't buy what it used to buy, and that's inflation. And the other thing is that people don't realize what the currency markets, how they really affect most things that we do, and the only time that you really understand how weak your currency is by going to a country that has a stronger currency like Europe or like England. I know some people that just came back from Italy, and they paid 40% over the U.S. dollar. So that's when you're really going to understand what we're talking about as to how weak the American dollar is, how weak the Canadian dollar is, unfortunately. And the fact is that it just doesn't buy as much. And things that we import from other countries, that's when you're also going to see that those are more expensive because, again, our dollar just doesn't buy as much as it did. Now, they're dropping interest rates for deflation when we really have every sign of inflation coming. So it's going to be very interesting to see how that is going to play out, because if we're keeping interest rates low in an inflationary period, that's going to signal disaster, just like it did in 1980 when interest rates went to 22% and inflation went to double digits. There's absolutely no doubt in my mind that we are going to revisit that. We have to. There's just no way in the world that the Federal Reserve can continue to do what they continue to do, which is print and print and print more money and keep interest rates all the way down to zero. Eventually, we have got to see the markets start to react on their own and do what they're supposed to do. You can only suppress these markets for so long. It's like a spring. You can push it down and push it down and push it down, but eventually that spring is going to spring forward, and that's exactly what will happen with the markets. Watching the gold and silver markets is like watching paint dry right now. The fact is it's trading in a very narrow range. There's no enthusiasm in the market. It may be down 4 out of 5 days trading. It's still trading well, nicely above its support levels. But the fact is that this market should never have been traded like this. There was a reason why gold went from $250 to $1,900. There was a reason why silver went from $4 to $50. And then for that to have all of a sudden reversed in 2011 for apparently no reason still makes absolutely no sense. Now, I know what happened during that particular time, and I know the reasons that it did happen. And it just also shows that the government can do whatever they want in order to make things look the way that they want it. So at this particular point, again, we say this every single week, we don't trade gold and silver. We bought gold and silver as a hedge against what's coming forward. It may take another year or 2 years. It could take 3 or 4 years. But if you don't have gold and silver, diamonds, hard assets, those type of investments in your portfolio, there is going to be a day within the foreseeable near future that we're going to wake up and find out that all hell is broken loose in these markets for the right reason. Now, we had a very orderly bull market, from 1999, 2000, when we started the show, all the way up to 2011. We could predict quite accurately where those markets were going. I've been in the commodity business for 35 years. I know how to read a chart. I know the fundamentals of the market. I know how to trade futures and options. I know everything about that. I lived that business for 35 years. What's happening right now is almost criminal, and I don't see why people would even put their money into the actual futures markets or stock markets knowing what they know, that these markets are actually manipulated. And it's a terrible thing because these are supposed to be free markets. So again, we're trading at $1,250 in gold. The very heavy support for gold is at $1,180, $1,000, and the ultimate is at $850. But I highly doubt that we're going to get down to that level. We could definitely test the 1180 level. We're going into the summertime when things are slower, where the trading is not as strong. So basically, we could see the market drift over the summer and basically trade in the range that it's trading at right now. But I can assure you, everything in the marketplace that is happening at this point is not conducive of what these markets should be doing. And eventually, these markets will kick in and do what they're supposed to do. The difference is that I do not believe that we're going to have the orderly bull market that we had from 1999, 2000, all the way up to 2011. What we're going to have is huge spikes in the market. So at this particular point, because gold and silver are not trading with any enthusiasm or excitement, there's no interest in the market at this point. And I know this may seem like, at times, a ridiculous statement, but that's the way I prefer it. Because the thing is that when nobody's paying attention to that market, in all the 35 years that I've traded that market, that's when this market, meaning precious metals, has the best chance of taking off. Because you've got these short positions in the market means that the banks are betting that gold and silver is going to go lower. However, there are fundamentals in the market that are so strong that could reverse that and make gold go up tremendously. We could see gold go up $100 or $200 in one day. So those banks that are short the market, even though they have money to back up their positions, the fact is that they're eventually going to have to buy back these short positions. So I'm just comfortable sitting back at this point, holding my physical precious metals and physical assets, because, again, these are action-reaction type of markets, and even though they're not reacting the way they should be right now, they will within the foreseeable near future. So if you do hold physical gold and silver, please don't be discouraged. Again, the reason that you bought it is a hedge against inflation, currency devaluation, all those type of scenarios, and those scenarios have got to come. There's no doubt about it that we will eventually see inflation in North America again. And in actual fact, I believe that the powers that be don't know what they're talking about at this point, because, again, it just doesn't make sense that we don't have inflation. We have $100, $103 oil, and we have food prices skyrocketing. Companies raising their prices tremendously on food, and then you also have people that don't have any money. They're not spending any money. They're not working. So, again, nothing adds up at this particular point. All I can say is that I know that we're right about this particular scenario because, again, eventually these markets have got to kick in. And what's going to happen, it's not going to be the orderly market that we saw before. It's going to be a spike up in the market, $100, $200 in gold, $1, $2, $3 in silver type of thing. And then the markets are going to go berserk. Then you're going to see the hedge funds jumping back in, and then you're going to see the speculators jumping back in and pushing the prices higher and higher. And if you want an example of that, look at the charts from 1979 and 80 on silver, and that will give you the example that I'm suggesting to you. In actual fact, if you don't have those charts, just give me a call and I'll email those charts to you. You will see a spike in silver in 1980 that went up $30 in just a few short months. The potential for silver to go to over $100 is real. The potential for gold to go over $2,000 is real. In fact, we were almost there back in 2011. The U.S. dollar will continue to weaken. There are talks that the U.S. dollar will not be the reserve currency anymore. I believe, as many do, that China is buying so much gold to back their currency, and they could actually turn out to be the country that has the reserve currency, not the United States. Oil, commodities, almost everything is priced in U.S. dollars, and that will not be the norm moving forward. So there's going to be a lot of things that are going to unravel. All I can say is that I get frustrated in the markets as much as everybody else does. You know, I get angry when I see what's happening, when I see the reports that came out this morning, knowing that they're so bogus. You know, why don't you come out and say that there was 210,000 jobs, created this month. However, there are this amount of people not working and this amount of people not working, and just be honest about it. But we're talking about the government, and the government's only goal at this point here is to masquerade what's really happening in the market, because things are that desperate and dire that if everybody knew how bad things really were, I don't think they could sleep at night. So, again, please understand that these are very, very unusual times, very risky times, very confusing times, and the smartest thing to do is to eliminate as much risk as you can. Don't speculate in the markets. Don't get frustrated and all of a sudden buy back into a market like the stock market when it could fall any time. Just right the ship. Stay with it. Stay with your physical gold. Stay with your physical silver. Own your diamonds. Own physical hard assets that you hold on you. I did a speech yesterday that was on Thursday at a Rotary Club, at a Kiwanis Club in West Palm Beach. And as I was talking about portable private wealth and that type of thing, about people, being able to get their money out of a country or something like that, a woman stood up, and it was very quiet, and she introduced herself, and she mentioned at that point that her mother, father, and her, when she was a young child, escaped from Cuba, and they came to the United States, and the mother had sewn diamonds into her feet, of all places, and when they came to the United States, that's how they got started again and went on to great wealth. So, again, it just really backs up what we're saying. It's really the hard asset market, the assets that you hold in your hand that really are going to get you to where you need to go to, not speculating in paper assets that, again, we do anticipate within the foreseeable near future, like derivatives, is going to wreak havoc on the financial markets, and we just don't want to go through that again. You don't want to be in the stock market when that market plummets, because if you're 50, 60, 70 years old in that area, you will never make back the money after this next drop, and there's no doubt in my mind with the state of the U.S. economy that it is going to happen, and probably happen sooner than you think.
Great quote this week from John Embry from Sprout Asset Management in relation to hard assets, gold and silver. The savvy investor here has to be an aggressive buyer. Don't worry about 5% on the downside. Worry about the hundreds and hundreds of percent on the upside. Let Worldwide Precious Metals explain all the ins and outs of the hard asset market to you. If you didn't get a chance to meet with them when they were here in Edmonton, obviously keep in mind they are looking at doing a seminar in the fall here in Edmonton. But connect with them. When you're looking to invest in precious metals, speak with Worldwide Precious Metals, a Canadian company out of Western Canada, out of Vancouver. They're the precious metals bullion dealer recommended by Herald for over 10 years. They're the experts to trust when investing within this very specialized market. Find them online, www.pmc.com, or call free of charge 1-866-623-2002. Now, it's very easy to start your own precious metals investment account. Get an experienced, results-driven personal bullion dealer working with you who's there to help you maximize profit, minimize risk, build an understanding and relationship directly with you. And remember, all investments are secure and 100% insured to the full value of your investment. The metal can be stored on your behalf, all outside the banking system, or be securely delivered to your door. Discover Worldwide Precious Metals domestic or foreign storage, in addition to premium storage options in specific coin and bar form. With Worldwide Precious Metals, you'll always have instant liquidity in and out of the market with just a phone call or by obviously connecting with them online 24/7. You will have that online access. Worldwide Precious Metals. When it comes to investing in gold, silver, platinum, palladium, they are the people to speak to. Connect with them. wwpmc.com, 1-866-623-2002. And as we heard John Embry say, now is the time to be an aggressive investor. A lot of people believe gold and silver are very, very oversold at this point. Now, one of the things that Harold touched on is that there seems to be an eerie calm in the financial markets, and I agree with that. John Hilsenrath, he's a writer with the Wall Street Journal, and he's very connected to the Federal Reserve. He's always breaking stories about the Fed. He's very connected. And he confirms the Fed is angry at itself for making the market too risk-free. And he's talking about the stock market. Now, you have some people that are very smart, in the know, who say now is not a time to be complacent. Nigel Farage, he's the head of the UKIP party, and they made some major inroads in the UK, in Europe here in the last week or so with elections. And we've talked about him before on the show. He is a person who has investment experience and has been in the investment world for many years before becoming involved in politics. And he says, we have not seen the last of the financial crisis. The banks are still a mess. Debt levels, as I've said, are very, very high and no sign of them going down. And we have other economies like those in the Eurozone heading into deflation. The Dow Jones may be at all-time highs. The S&P is trading at all-time highs. But I wouldn't get too wildly optimistic about things. In fact, it's interesting as well. David Stockman, he was in the budget department in the Reagan administration. He said the beauty of free markets is you get hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people looking at information, voting by buying and selling and taking risks or not taking risks. The market result is the outcome of all these opinions being constantly reassessed. But when you get a market that is entirely medicated and driven by 12 people at the Fed who don't know what they're doing, you have the total opposite situation. You have one of the most dangerous financial conditions that has ever been experienced or even imagined by madmen a few years ago. And this is why we say, have obviously hard assets in your portfolio today, because the biggest danger, obviously, is that the central banks will lose control of these financial markets, because what they have done over the last 5-6 years is we're into territory that is completely uncharted, and we do not know necessarily how it will end. And you need that insurance policy in your portfolio. Speak with Worldwide Precious Metals about investing in gold and silver. wwpmc.com is the website. 1-866-623-2002 is their telephone number. Come back and talk about diamonds as the World Financial Report on Radio with Harold Siegel and me, Randy Marshall, continues right after this. Welcome back to the second half of the World Financial Report on Radio with Harold Siegel. My name is Randy Marshall. Joining us via the telephone, our financial and diamond expert, Harold Siegel. We're taping our show on June the 6th, 2014. Our time is 9:08 Mountain. Radio show runs on your favorite radio stations, but as well, the shows are always archived, streaming live at your convenience on Harold's two websites, rarecoloreddiamonds.com and HESradio.com. HESradio.com, rarecoloreddiamonds.com. You can listen to the radio shows anytime you want. I do that actually quite a bit as I work. I listen to the radio show streaming off those sites. We also have a podcast, and this is where portability comes in. Maybe you're on a treadmill, you're jogging, you're going out for a walk, you want to listen to the radio show. Well, we have a podcast through iTunes. Type in World Financial Report on Radio, and then you'll find us there. You can obviously put it on your portable device, set it up so it comes in every week, subscribe to the podcast. We're portable. We go anywhere you do. And Harold does daily market commentary. He connects with you on a daily basis as to what he's seeing in the financial markets. And if you would like to hear that daily market commentary, all you need to do is go to his websites as well. You can go to the podcast site. You can find the info there. World Financial Report on radio is the radio show. And when it comes to recommending companies to use when you invest in gold and silver, there's only one company that Harold recommends. That is Worldwide Precious Metals out of Vancouver. Their website, wwpmc.com. The telephone number to connect with them, 1-866-623-2002. They thank everyone who came out and spent some time with them when they were here in Edmonton. They plan on doing a fall seminar in the fall at some point in Edmonton, so keep that in mind. Harold's website for diamonds, rarecoloreddiamonds.com. And we always have a featured diamond of the week. This week's featured diamond is a .44 carat oval cut, fancy vivid purplish pink argyle. It is absolutely stunning. And we encourage you to go to rarecoloreddiamonds.com, click on the featured diamond of the week. You can see the video there. We also have a free weekly newsletter. You can get the free weekly newsletter from Harold. Take a look at the diamond section. You can see a picture of the diamond, and you can click through and take a look at the video as well. It has been a very exciting 6 months for rarecoloreddiamonds.com and Harold's auction site, hsfineauctions.com. We recently, within the last month, raised approximately $70,000 for the Susan G. Komen Breast Cancer Foundation. And that was just an outstanding result for a first-time auction. Harold plans on doing more auctions for breast cancer and Susan G. Komen. If you would like to hear an interview that Harold did with Nancy Brinker, who is the founder and chair of global strategy for Susan G. Komen, we can send that interview to you. It's about 15 minutes long. It was on Bloomberg Radio with Pim Fox and Carol Masser. And Harold has been on Bloomberg Television as well on 2 separate occasions, both times showing up with diamonds from Liz Taylor and some stunning yellow diamonds, pink diamonds, even some D-flawless white diamonds. We can show you those videos as well if you'd like to take a look at them. But Harold, I was doing sort of a retrospective over the last 6 months. And we've really, not only on the auction side of things with the raising of $70,000 for breast cancer, but even the auctions we've had prior to that, and even diamonds in general. It has been a very strong 6 months, even at other auctions at Christie's and Sotheby's. In fact, here in the last month or so, there was that vivid blue diamond that sold. It sold for $23.8 million. We had that yellow diamond. It sold for $16.3 million. That was the Graf Vivid Yellow, 100 carat. So it's been a very strong time for diamonds. And for those that are investing in diamonds, have a diamond portfolio, they sleep very well at night.
I would certainly say so. The returns have been phenomenal. We also talked about that diamond that was sold by Christie's in 1991 for $2.5 million, and then resold a couple weeks ago for $17.5 million. So, you know, the fact is that diamonds are a longer-term investment. However, they produce. They give you price stability. You know, when we look at investments today, you know, it's not like being back 20 years ago. We look at it totally different circumstances now. And now, believe it or not, when we go into certain investments, it isn't always about making money. It's about preserving capital, and diamonds do that. Because certain diamonds, not all diamonds are investment quality, but investment quality diamonds, especially the extremely rare ones like the pinks, and certain yellows, the flawless yellows, they never decline in value. And the reason is supply and demand. Demand is very high, and supplies are extremely low. You're not talking about a lot of these. With yellow flawless diamonds, there's lucky to be 100 for the entire world in a year that are cut. And then as far as Argyle pinks, we all know that the Argyle mine is going to close soon, and there won't be any more pink diamonds. If you know anything about the economy and that type of thing, you'll realize that interest rates at zero, and actually, what Randy brought up at the beginning of the show, soon you're going to put your money in the bank, and they're going to charge you to keep your money in the bank. You're not going to get any return. You're not going to get any interest whatsoever. It's going to go negative, and you're actually going to have to pay money to keep your money sitting in the bank. How ridiculous is that? And then on top of that, we also understand that the banks can take your money at any time. If the bank goes insolvent, they're going to use your money, everything over the amount that's insured, and they're just going to take it, just like happened in Cyprus and has happened other times before. So we've got to look at assets and the type of investments that, number one, are safe, that's not going to happen to. You're not going to lose your money just by keeping your money in somebody's bank. So by putting money into a diamond, a yellow flawless diamond, they increase by 15% a year. Vivid yellow diamonds can increase by 25 or 30% a year. There's so few of those. The saturation is very strong. It's a very beautiful color. It's the best color that you can get, and they go up tremendously. Well, there's no investments that aren't extremely speculative that would increase by 25% a year, but these diamonds do that. Now, the thing is, you don't want to buy it today and sell it in a year or 2 years or 3 years. You're just wasting your time. You're not going to make any money by doing that. If you want to make a lot of money in diamonds, put them away for 10 or 20 years. That's why a lot of people that buy diamonds, invest in diamonds, buy for their future, for their retirement. If you're 40, you put these away for 20 years, and you're going to have an asset that cost you $20,000. You're going to sell in the six figures. As far as the Argyle pinks go, it's only 6 years for the mines to run out. If you have a 10-year game plan, you buy an Argyle pink diamond for $50,000 and just put that away for the next 10 years, that diamond could come back at $400,000 to $500,000. And if you don't think that's possible, it happens all the time. In actual fact, if you look at the auction results, we talk about the amazing diamonds, the blues that are selling for $25 million, and the 100-carat yellow that sells for $16 million. But who buys those diamonds? The fact is that most of my clients that invest in diamonds don't buy multi-million-dollar diamonds. They don't have that kind of money. They buy $20,000, $50,000, $100,000 diamonds, $200,000 diamonds because they're safe. They never lose their value, and they have potential to go substantially higher. We just talked about that blue diamond that over a 24, 25-year period went from $2.5 million to $17.5 million. I've spoken many times about my wife's girlfriend, whose grandmother 50 years ago bought a pink diamond for $50,000, and now that diamond is worth $5 million. It happens in the diamond business, but it's not a short-term scenario. You don't buy a diamond and sell it in 4 or 5 years. It's not the right type of asset to do that. In actual fact, many people that invest in diamonds that don't need the money end up giving them to their kids and grandkids, and that's what I've also done is basically put diamonds into my children and grandchildren's accounts, so when the grandkids do get started in life, when they're 28, 30 years old, they have something substantial. I could have easily taken $20,000 and put it into a yellow flawless diamond, or I could have taken $20,000 and put it into a mutual fund. I know that in 10 years, a yellow flawless diamond could be worth $70,000, $75,000. I have no idea what the stock position would be worth, because the fact is that market goes up and then it plummets, takes all your wealth away. So I just don't invest that way. I'm much more comfortable investing in something that we own outright, that doesn't trade on exchanges like stocks and commodities in the sense, because you want to own the hard asset. You don't necessarily want to own the paper. And that's what we've been saying for a long, long time. So the diamond market is on fire. Again, the speech that I made at the Rotary Club the other day on Thursday, again, when the woman stood up and talked, she literally talked with tears in her eyes how they barely escaped communist Cuba, and if it wasn't for her mom, having diamonds sewn away into her feet, they never would have been able to do anything in the States either. And now they're an affluent family that have gone on and done extremely well. There's many, many cases like that. And the fact is, diamonds are that type of investment. What was always missing from the diamond business as an investment was a way to resell them. That was always the problem with diamonds. The cutters and the dealers would always do well, but nobody could ever sell their diamond. If you had a big diamond and sold it through Christie's and Sotheby's, that's one thing. But how about everybody out there that owns, 1 and 2 carat yellow flawlesses or smaller Argyle pinks or smaller? Where do you sell those diamonds? That's why we built H. Siegel Fine Auctions. This is the part of the business that I'm most proud of. We set out to take a business that was totally different than the business that we have now. Because the diamond business has always been rough diamonds coming out of the mine, sold to cutters who cut and polish the diamond, who sell them back to the jewelry trade. That's what the diamond business has always been. My vision has always been diamonds are a great investment. We just need to, number one, let people know that, and number two, show them a way that they could sell it at a profit. And that's exactly what we did. Every single diamond that is sold at my auctions have been profitable. Every single one of them. So the fact is that H. Siegel Fine Auctions is the secondary market to resell our clients' diamonds. My job is to build it and build it and build it. I know I've got the next 5, 6, 7 years in order to build this company, in order for my clients to be able to sell to very high net worth clients. And that's exactly what we're doing. With my association with the charities, with Susan G. Komen Breast Cancer Charity, many of the functions that I will do for them involve multi-billionaire families. And my goals are twofold. Number one is to do a great job for a charity that I believe tremendously in. And number two, expand my business by bringing in high net worth clients that want to invest in these type of assets. And that's exactly what we're accomplishing. In actual fact, again, in 1 hour, we sold $500,000 worth of diamonds and wrote a $70,000 check to the charity. Who can do that? And it's only going to get better and better. As the Argyle mine gets closer and closer to closing, you're going to find that these diamonds are going to go up more and more and more in value. Then you're going to start to get people that are clamoring to get into that marketplace. What we're saying is, if it makes sense to you, and it should make sense because it's a very safe investment and it's got potential to make you a lot of money over time, this is the type of asset that you should entertain. Do your homework. Go on our website. Go through our investment section, through our informative section. We educate you. We've got a whole educational section on our website. And again, we're the only company that owns their own virtual auction business that can resell their clients' diamonds. All these other firms that have copied our business, the one thing that they couldn't copy was the auction business, because that was a business that took, first of all, 2 years to build, and our IT people in Vancouver, Canada, Relentless Technologies, are these brilliant young guys that understand this type of business. And we built this at a tremendous cost, but it works beautifully. It's infallible. We had, at our last auction, we had people from China, Kuala Lumpur, Australia, all over the United States and Canada, all throughout Europe. We had a phenomenal auction, did very, very well for the charity, but that's only the start of it. And then we're getting approached now by other charities. We actually got approached last week by the Democratic Party that wanted to use our auction business, our platform, as a fundraiser. So the thing is that you're going to find that we're going to bring a lot of excitement to the auction business. Through Susan G. Komen, through the breast cancer charity, we will be doing auctions starting again in October that defy description. I'm a partner of theirs, but so is the Dallas Cowboys, the LPGA, American Airlines. We're planning on possibly doing a phenomenal auction, and this will bring a whole slew of new people into our auction sites that will start to enjoy the auction business. So that's what my major goal is over the next 6 to 10 years, is to build that company so when we go ahead and sell our diamonds, that we have clients all over the world that are in a great position to do so. So again, Randy, I've never been more proud. You're right, this was a great year for diamonds. Everything that happened at Christie's and Sotheby's and H. Siegel Fine Auctions have been phenomenal. Again, every auction that we've had has been successful, and every diamond that we sold was profitable, and I don't think you could ask for much more than that.
No, you can't. Connect with Harold at rarecoloreddiamonds.com. rarecoloreddiamonds.com. And it was back in 2005 that he wrote that very first report. And the reason I mention it time and time again, Harold was the first who wrote that report back in 2005 about investing in diamonds. People second-guessed him. People second-guessed him about his website. Both obviously have turned out to be massive successes. Investing in diamonds, the website, and then Harold took it to a whole new level. No one obviously copycatting him there yet, and that is having an auction site online, hsfineauctions.com. If you'd like to go to the website, you can take a look under past auctions and see under the catalogs all the different items that have been auctioned off since we first started doing that about approximately 2 years ago. I encourage you to do that. We've had some outstanding items, not only diamonds, but gold, silver, platinum, palladium coins too. Our featured diamond this week is a .44 carat oval cut, fancy, vivid, purplish pink argyle. One of the things that Harold is known for is bringing to you the highest quality diamond with the best color for an unbelievable investment price. One of the things that Harold always talks about when he travels with his wife Harriet, they'll go into some of the top jewelry stores. Maybe they'll be in Las Vegas visiting Harold's sister-in-law and mother-in-law, and they'll go into some of the top jewelry stores all around the world. And the prices that people are paying for diamonds in comparison to what they can get from Harold, you're getting a higher quality diamond, a better color, and Harold, yet so many people do not understand that the way to go is to deal with rare colored diamonds. Don't worry about some of these high-end shops. You can do exactly what they're doing and for a fraction of the price.
Well, that's 100% true, and thanks for saying that. You know, the thing is that I have a 14-carat vivid yellow flawless diamond ring. A 14-carat vivid yellow flawless diamond ring. The diamond would sell in graphs in the 3 to 4 million range. It's a one of a kind, but a diamond through myself as a dealer is half of that price. So there is a huge difference. When you buy retail, you're not going to make money, or it's going to take you a long, long time to make money. We make our money when our clients sell their diamonds. We get 10% of the profit. So we try to keep our prices as low as possible because we want our clients to make as much money as possible, and consequently, it's a perfect relationship and a perfect partnership. If my clients are making money and my company is making money, I'm very happy, and that's the way that we've always tried to conduct our business. So the fact is that you could definitely walk into Graff's or Harry Winston or Tiffany's or De Beers, and you're certainly going to see diamonds. But the fact is that I can sell those same diamonds as they have at half the price that they're selling them for. So why in the world, if you're interested in that type of an asset, give yourself the opportunity to buy it at the best possible price, but also, as an investment, make the maximum return on your investment dollar.
Connect with Harold, rarecoloreddiamonds.com, rarecoloreddiamonds.com. And Harold is always happy to speak with you personally and privately. If you would like to get an education about diamonds, speak with him at 1-800-432-1022, 1-800-432-1022. And one of the things that Harold also did, he became sort of a pioneer when it comes to giving online seminars. And we've done a number of online seminars with hundreds and hundreds of people being involved, watching online. And it's also been taken to another level, because if you're in a situation where maybe you have a group of people that are interested in investing in diamonds, Harold can do an online seminar for you. And Harold, that's something that you've done and has been a massive success, because you can connect with people all around the world. You can do an exclusive seminar for 10 to 50, 100 people off in Australia or Austria or wherever, and you can do it out of the comfort of your office and connect with people all over the world.
Oh, you bet, Randy. This is the beautiful thing about being virtual, is that people can enjoy either the seminar or the auction. It's the same type of platform from the comfort of their own home. And actually, we're making it compatible to tablets. So soon we're going to be able to hold our auctions, and people will be able to do it on their iPads. On top of that, we have some other exciting things going on. There's just so many exciting things going on in the diamond business with us. We are, because the auction business with us is getting so big, that we've taken space on West Palm Beach Island, the richest area in West Palm Beach here in Florida, and also up in New York, and we will have a showroom for people to actually come in, see what is going to, and view what's going to be auctioned. And we may actually hold auctions now that we can do them on tablets. We can hold them right there within within our offices there, our showrooms. So we have a lot of great things coming up for the rest of the year and going into the new year. Again, our relationship with the charities are just phenomenal, and will bring tremendous opportunities. We made the breast cancer ribbon out of pink diamonds and pink sapphires, but we just made a pink diamond ribbon ring and matching earrings for the breast cancer charity, and we kept the prices very low on those also, so people can afford them, and most of the money goes to the charity. So again, Randy, a lot of great things going on, and when you're talking about diamonds, you're talking about something that most people love. It's just getting to be more and more enticing every day because we see how much these diamonds are returning at auction.
And it's been very gratifying to be a part of it. Back when Harold wrote the article in 2005 about diamonds, I'll be honest with you, I never really had thought about diamonds as an investment. I obviously thought diamonds were very nice and a beautiful thing that we all would enjoy in some form. And then you start thinking about it in the financial times that we live in, where you have negative interest rates, you have bail-ins where they take your money out of your bank account, and at some point, as Harold says, don't be surprised if the economies of the world don't turn around, that we end up paying banks to warehouse our money. And that's where hard assets come into play, and that's why diamonds are going to be so important. And it's been fun to see the projections and calls that Harold has made since 2005 come true, not only with diamonds, but his auction site as well. And if you are looking to speak to a diamond expert and pick their brain about the investment diamond market, there's only one person that I think you would really be worth spending time with, and that's Harold Siegel, rarecoloreddiamonds.com. Our featured diamond of the week, a 0.44 carat oval cut, fancy, vivid, purplish pink argyle. And we've talked about the story of the Argyle mine for quite some time. About 2020, that mine is going to shut down. And I think when you talk to people about it, they almost can't comprehend it because it almost sounds too good to be true. But this is documented and well documented. In fact, they say that maybe by 2020 it will shut down. And then at that point, they'll have diamonds that they can supply the market with for a few years. And then it will be a free marketplace because 90 to 95% of the world's pink diamonds will be gone. And as I said, Harold, we have about 2 minutes left here. It's hard for the average person to get their head around that idea, but it is true, and it's verified. It's a verified fact. 90 to 95% of the world's pink diamonds will be gone. The source will be gone. No new mines have been found.
Well, that is true, and this will be something that the people that took advantage of it will remember forever because I believe they're going to do tremendously well. And those that have known about it but didn't react on it will kick themselves because they knew about it, because we talk about it every single week. Again, it's supply and demand. When demand is high and supplies are low, the prices go higher. And that's what's happening in diamonds. When you look at a phenomenon like the Argyle mine that produces 95% of all the pinks, and it's going to close, I mean, what's going to happen? The prices are going up right now, right in front of our eyes, and the closer we get to the mine shutting, you're going to see that these diamonds will take on a life of their own. The vivid pinks can increase 50% a year. That's how things are going at this time. So, again, Randy, it was a very strong recommendation. When we recommended diamonds, we didn't really realize how bad the economy was going to get, and it makes me even happier to know that our clients are holding this type of asset because it's one of the most important assets you could ever own right now.
I think a lot of times people logically know something to be true, as is the case with the pink diamonds at the Argyle mine, but they think, well, you know, I'll wait and I'll do it, but I'll do it later. The truth of the matter is there's a window of opportunity for everything, and the window of opportunity for pink diamonds, in my opinion, and Harold's obviously, is now. So now is the time to connect with rarecoloreddiamonds.com and Harold Siegel, 1-800-432-1022, and speak about investing in a pink diamond today. And Harold, thank you for another outstanding show and your knowledge for another week.
It's my pleasure, Randy. I wish everybody a wonderful weekend and a very profitable day.
Don't forget, on the gold, silver, platinum, palladium side of things, there's only one company Harold recommends you use, Worldwide Precious Metals. They thank everyone in Edmonton for coming out and spending time with them, and they're going to be putting on a seminar in the fall here in Edmonton. We can look forward to that. WWPMC.com is their website. Telephone number 1-866-623-2002. Harold's auction site, it's hsfineauctions.com. Go take a look around and see what's been auctioned off in the past and sort of acclimatize yourself to this site. We know you'll be using it in the future. Also, rarecoloreddiamonds.com. It's like going to a museum online. Some of the world's finest diamonds online from Harold Siegel and rarecoloreddiamonds.com. Speak with Harold about diamonds, 1-800-432-1022. That's it. Another edition of the World Financial Report on radio with Harold Siegel and me, Randy Marshall.